Dominant 35-year-old Matt Kovaluk had the race of his life in the Busch Grand National North Series opener at Stafford Motor Speedway. He won the pole and led every lap to get his season off to a rousing start. He'll be one of the cars to beat tonight at Holland International Speedway. But you can't forget about the defending series champion, Andy Santerre. He won here 1 year ago. It is time for short track racing in steamy, hot Western New York. It's a hot, steamy night in Holland, New York at Holland International Speedway. This is the second race of the Busch North Grand National Series, and it's 150 laps on this 3/8-mile track. Very pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood along with Dan Partis, and we welcome you to Busch North Racing here on Speed. Saturday night bull ring, what could be better, Dan?
Not a better place to come, I tell you. The grassroots of auto racing, me as a race car driver and these drivers, when we come back to these half miles, these 3/8 miles, man, that's where we get her done. We love coming here. It's a great place. You get to stand on the throttle, bumping and grinding. There's nothing better.
All right, let's talk about last week. We finally got a race in after a couple of rainouts, and Matt Kovaluk was really dominant in that first race of the season.
Matt got 109 starts in this series. His team has come a long, long way. They've progressed through the year. He's got really good equipment. His team is really starting to mesh, so he looks like a force to be reckoned with as a possible championship contender in this series here in 2005.
And I know he feels good about the race tonight. For more on that, let's check in now with the third member of our broadcast team, Ron Kruk, who talked earlier with Matt Kovaluk.
Talk about domination. Matt Kovaluk, you won the Busch Pole Award last week and then went on to lead every lap and win at Stafford. Not a bad way to start the season off.
No, I mean, I don't think you could have scripted it any better than that. You know, we sat on the pole and the car was great, so we just left it alone. And fortunately, it played into our hands. You know, we had a little competition at the beginning of the race from Ryan Moore, and then he broke about lap 65, and then it was pretty smooth sailing from there until about the last 20 to go. And Andy Santerre caught up to me at the end, and we battled it out at the end there. But, you know, led every lap, so, you know, I was able to save the car and you know, keep it underneath me for the end of the race to be able to hold my position there.
Definitely was an exciting finish. Now, you've had success here at Holland as well, third place and a fourth place finish. How is it different racing here at this speedway compared to Stafford?
You know, all the short tracks are relatively simple, relatively the same. I mean, you're Stafford, you got a lot longer straightaways, carry more speed. Here, the racing's a little tighter, but more high banks. So you're able to run more side by side through the corners here than you would at Stafford. Stafford's a lot flatter. So, you know, they're both fun tracks to run. Two totally different as far as how you run the track. But, you know, you'll see some real tight racing and some side by side racing here tonight.
We wish you the best of luck, guys. A quick note, the winner of the first race in the Busch North Series the past 3 years has gone on to win the championship, a trend I know you'd like to see continue. Mike, back to you.
Well, two cars that are built down in North Carolina are on the front row. They're out of the same shop, Mike Stefanik and Andy Santerre. Let's talk about Stefanik first. He's on the pole, and I think after a disappointing week last week in Stafford, he's ready for a good run.
He really is. I tell you, them two guys, teammates, they're really meshing well. They're both veteran race car drivers. They're sharing notes. That's what's the best thing. But I tell you, as coming from the racing background, I know as you get better and better, I don't know how much of that note sharing goes on, but Mike Stefanik coming off a bad run at Stafford, he had the car to be in the top 5 there, Mike, but unfortunately got spun, so he's going to be a force to be reckoned with here tonight at Holland.
Yeah, the two teammates on the front row, but Mike Stefanik edged out Santerre for the pole, and earlier Ron Kruk caught up with the driver of car 55.
A 14.596 second lap has earned Mike Stefanik in the number 55 car the Busch Pole Award. You got to be psyched with where you're starting tonight.
Yeah, I sure am, Ron. You know, the Grisco team's been working really hard, and we were fast last week, didn't capitalize on it, but hopefully this week we can capitalize on our great starting position.
What's the key to winning here at Holland?
Well, for one, having a fast race car, we have that. Staying out of trouble, and you got to have a good long-run car. We can't pit and put tires on, so starting up front is key, and running fast laps. I'll have Andy right to my outside, and he's my boss man, so I got to keep him behind me.
All right, Mike, we wish you the best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Well, we're ready to go racing here at Holland International Speedway. Dan and I will have the starting lineups in the green flag next here on Speed. We're about ready to get these engines fired up. You see they're ready to go on the pit lane, and let's head down now to pit road for the command to get these engines going.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Now you heard the fireworks going off. Engines are fired down on the pit lane. We're about to get this second race of the Busch Grand National North Series underway. And on the front row, you just heard Mike Stefanik talk about his boss, Andy Santerre. Santerre, who finished second a week ago in the first race. I think he's got a shot here tonight, obviously.
Andy is awesome. He's been around this series a long time. He's a long-time veteran. He is the #1 pick for me tonight.
All right, there you see Andy Santerre. And just a little while ago, our Ron Kruk had a chance to catch up with the driver of car 44.
Three-time Busch North Series defending champion Andy Santerre. And Andy, you've had success here at Holland. You've won 2 out of the past 3 races. What does it take to do well here at this speedway?
Well, Holland is a great racetrack. It's a little bull ring, you know. It's real tight for these cars, but it's got some banking, and it's a great side-by-side racing track, and we don't see that a lot these days. So we're always anxious to come here, and it's really a bull ring. You really have to fight it out, and the best man doesn't always win. You got to keep the fenders on the car, stay out there, and it seems like the last few years it's been working that bottom groove. The top groove used to be the preferred line, but guys found out that you couldn't pass the other guy if he stayed in that line. So you got to work the bottom. If your car will stay on the bottom, getting in the corner, and then you have enough forward bite to get it to drive up off, you can pass the guy on the inside.
As if there wasn't enough pressure on you to go for an unprecedented 4 championships in a row. Here you are, you're also managing 2 cars now. How are you dealing with those dual roles?
Well, it's taken some getting used to, you know. I've got some great teammates in Mike Stefanik and Brad Layton, and probably 2 of the only guys I'd ever think about doing this with. And they've been really good. We've got a great bunch of guys assembled, and it's been a real exciting year so far. This is only our 2nd event, but a little bit hectic, a lot more work at the shop, but overall it's been pretty good.
Hopefully it gets a little easier as the season goes on. Good luck to you tonight.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Ron, thanks a lot. And Andy Santerre right there beside Mike Stefanik. They will lead this field of 27 cars to the green flag here tonight. And again, this is the 2nd race of the season. All right, let's take you back now through the starting grid. And on the front row from Rhode Island, Mike Stefanik is on the pole. He's never won here. Andy Santerre was the winner here last year. On the 2nd row, Brian Chu and Dave Dion, 3-time winner at this racetrack, pole winner a year ago. Eddie McDonald thinks he's going to have a great season. Mike Olson, runner-up in points a year ago. On row 5, Ryan Moore and Sean Casey. Sean Casey is only 19 years old, and you said Dale Curley's going to have to go to the back.
Yes, he is. He missed an autograph session, so unfortunately Dale have to start in the back of the field here.
Row 8, Rocky Moran out of California, Kim Stockwell. Ryan Seaman, Rookie of the Year in this series a year ago. Troy Williams, a local driver, hoping to do well before his home fans. Charles Lewandowski, another youngster. He's a rookie in the series. Tim Bainey Jr.'s first race in this North Series.
Hooters Cup regular guy. There's lane chase, a little trouble in practice there. Had to go back up farther.
These are all provisional starters here. John Salemi, Rob Humphreys in his first North Series start in the 11th car on row 13. And also Joe Massessa has been giving a provisional starting spot. He will be our 27th starter in the 09 car. Taking 5 pace laps here to make sure that these motors are warm. And I don't think after today it's going to be hard to do. Dan, it was smoking hot here in Western New York today.
Oh, man, what a burner. I tell you, it was like being down in Florida here today. So humid and hot, but boy, what a beautiful day. The sun, the mountains, the trees. What a great racing facility.
And a great evening here at Holland International Speedway. We've got a great crowd here on hand, and they're expecting a great race, and I think we're going to see one as the cars now bunch up 2 by 2, getting ready to go green. The lights off on the pace car. And as they come out of turn 2, head down the backstretch. Dan, you have been behind the wheel of these cars many a time. What are you thinking right now if you're a driver?
Well, your spotter's talking to you right now. Say, driver, tighten your seatbelts, get them tight. Talk to me about them gauges. Let me know how they feel. And you as a race car driver, you've talked to the guy in front of you, if you're not on the front row, and said, man, let me on the inside. And he said, yeah, sure, but that's yet to be seen.
All right, I think we're about ready to go. Green flag ready. The cars are bunched up here. 27 of them at the ready. The green is out.
Clear down. Clear down, clear.
You heard Andy Santerre's spotter as they cleared one lap now, and Mike Stefanik, the leader on lap 1, the pole sitter. Santerre tucks in right behind him. I think early in a race like this, you have to be a little bit patient on a short track, and already trouble for the 2-car of Lane Chase.
Yeah, looks like he gets off the track, still green flag out. Andy Santerre, Mike Stefanik, I talked to both of them before the race. I said, guys, we got a new tire here. How does this tire work? We know it's an awful hard compound. Do you have to wait a few laps for it to come in? And both of them told me, Dan, the tire is so hard that really you can go right off the bat. So as you see, they take off. And
there is Lane Chase. He had a problem with his clutch. Wasn't able to take a qualifying run and thought they had it fixed. And now there's a problem with Rocky Moran. He's slowed on the racetrack. John Salemi just ran right into the rear of him. On turn 3, Rocky Moran, the 03 car, slowed down, and Salemi, I don't think there's any damage on the front end, just plowed right in the back of him.
Wow, just a little log jam there. Car gets a little sideways. What happened was it appeared the car got a little sideways in the corner. You brake check. When you jump on the brake pedal as a driver, you just can't stop at 100+ mile an hour.
Rocky Moran not originally scheduled to run here, but after the rainouts we had early in this season, they added this race, and this is a tough place to get oval track experience. And Rocky Moran out of Irvine, California, doesn't have a lot of it. Looks like his car just lost power for some reason.
Yeah, it did. You see he's got some right rear quarter panel damage, but he's back underway, and that car should be fine. Really didn't get in the wheels of that car. They may come back in. The crew may want to look at that car in the King Taco 03 car and just see if there's no fender rub. He'll be back underway.
Under caution at Holland International Speedway. You're watching NASCAR Grand National North Series racing here on Speed. Well, we completed 4 laps before we got our first caution flag.
See Mike Olson to the inside there. Looks like Mike's going to come down pit row. Unfortunately, possibly a problem with Mike Olson's car. He was a fine contender for this race.
Ron Kruk is down in the pits, and so if he does come in, we'll get a word on it. Salemi is in, but Olson is the big story coming to pit road. I thought he had a real chance to win. There's Salemi on pit road, the 63.
See, he's got front nose damage. Obviously, somebody brake checked in front of him, and unfortunately, you just can't stop quick enough on these half miles. See Mike Olson in.
There is Mike Olson coming to the attention of his crew. And I think he had a little bit of a fender rub. They're going to pull that sheet metal off the fender.
Just to be sure that there was no damage on that car, and looks like it's going to be okay. They'll be back underway.
Just readjust the wheel. Tires look all right? This one looks like it toes in.
Yep, what Mike's talking about is the wheel's not center. They must have made contact with the car on the outside, and it's knocked the toe out of the car. That could slow the car down in most cases, but sometimes it may not affect the handling of the car. But really, and unfortunately, we don't have enough time to adjust the toe end of the car during a pit stop here in Holland, New York.
Well, we've got the word on what happened to Rocky Moran as we're back under green flag racing here. Dan, you're not going to believe this. Rocky Moran just accidentally hit his kill switch.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have the kill switches on these cars. NASCAR implemented the kill switch a few years ago. And what it does is the throttle sticks wide open. You hit the kill switch on the steering wheel. Unfortunately, even in the Nextel and the Winston Cup Series, there have been cases where these drivers have hit the kill switch. It's just something you got to really be careful.
Tough break for Rocky Moran, and on the restart, Mike Stefanik looks good, and there's the battle for 5th place. Matt Kobaluk looks awfully strong. Dave Dion in the 29 holding on to 5th, but he's going to have a tough time holding off Kobaluk, who led wire to wire a week ago at Stafford.
How about Dave Dion? 61 years young. Dave Dion won this race here 3 times. Man, he can get around this race.
Dave Dion, who has won 12 races in this series, holding him off. His most recent win was back in 2001 in Vermont. back up front now, Mike Stefanik. Stefanik has an unusual record. He won both the North Series and the modified season championships in 1997 and 98. The only other driver in NASCAR to win 2 series champions in the same year. Can you name it? Dan Martin?
No, I can't. You got me on that one.
Lee Petty. Lee Petty did it back in the late 50s. But Mike Stefanik's the only other guy that's done it. He won the modified and the North Series championships in the same years in 97 and 98. Was the 2000 Truck Series Rookie of the Year. But, you know, he says this series is where he's comfortable. Feels good running here. He's got a chance to win every race out. And if you're a racer, that's an important thing.
Yes, it is. And Mike is right at home. He's got 153 starts in this series. He's been around a long time, and he just loves this place. He loves racing this series. He said, Dan, if I can't win, I really don't want to race, and you can't blame him. He's had the opportunity to run Winston Cup and Busch years and years, but you got to be in the right equipment. And as a race car driver, that means a lot. Be in top-notch equipment and be able to run up front.
You saw Robert Humphreys out of Elbridge, New York, going a lap down there a moment ago. The laps tick off in a hurry here. Right around 15 seconds, 14, just under 15 for most of these drivers.
Sure does. It doesn't take long to get around this place. Look at them cars. They look so evenly matched. Again, they're from the same stable. I talked to both them drivers before the start of this race. I said, guys, how far are you in setup? How far off are you on setup? They said, we are so close, it ain't even funny. They made a little spring change here and there, but both them cars are almost identical. So you can see they're really performing well here tonight. The key is what's going to happen to these cars on the long run, Mike. Is the tires going to go away? Is the setup going to be too much for the cars? So setup has a lot to do with the long run here on these short tracks.
Well, what happens on these longer runs is you see cars already starting to go a lap down. As Stefanik is catching up with the pack, their cars all over this racetrack, and how these guys negotiate this lap traffic is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, it's so important. You have to be patiently aggressive here on a short track. Again, these two guys are looking at the big picture. They're racing for championships, so they have to be so careful. Again, a good spotter is the key, a good crew chief, and experience. These guys have got tons of laps around the racetrack.
And we'll be back with more Grand National North Racing here on Speed. Stefanik flying on the outside by these cars.
Here's Mike Spotter talking to him, telling him, be careful around the inside track.
Talking about the 68, that's Richard Gould, another one of the rookies, or a number of rookies. You see that yellow stripe on the bumper of that 68, signifying his rookie status. And you just heard Mike Stefanik's spotter telling him to be careful when he went around it.
Yep, the spotter just really plays a big part, especially on these short tracks. He walks you through it, he keeps you clear, he tells you about some of the potential dangers in front of you. It's a key element here on the short tracks.
25 laps in, let's run you down the top 10 right now. Mike Stefanik out in front, then it's Andy Santerre, Brian Chu, Eddie McDonald, and Dave Dion. That's your top 5. Then Matt Kovaluk, Mike Johnson, Ryan Moore, Sean Case, the 19-year-old, and Joey McCarthy, who won here 2 years ago. That's your top 10. Let's go down to the pits now and Ron Kruk. Think it's loud down there?
Wow, I'm glad we're not down there, guys. I'll tell you, and really, to be truthful, if your jokes at home, it is that loud down on the infield. These exhausts run out on the inside of the car, and it's very brutal down there in the pits. But what he was telling us was Dave Dion has been racing for 40-plus years, and he's had the same car for some. This car that Dave Dion is driving is a rear steer car, and man, is it an older car, but he knows how to make it work.
Dave Dion started racing in 1964.
Oh, wow, I was born in '63. There you see passing by the 97 of Tim Bainey Jr. These two cars are so hooked up. These guys are just going to ride behind each other, be careful, and work their way through traffic.
If those green long enough, they may lap the field here.
Yeah, absolutely.
quite a bit of difference back from Santerre to the third-place car of Brian Chu. And Chu is having one of his better runs here tonight.
See Stefanik talk to these guys. They said Monday they're going to Loudon, New Hampshire. Stefanik and Andy, they're going to try bring cars. They're going to bring each other's team cars, and they're going to swap drivers and cars just to see if their field is the same. See the battle back here for 4th and 5th. Dave Dion, Matt Kobaluk. These guys are going at it.
Eddie McDonald in the 77. Quite a story. He's with a new group this year. He's just 24 years old, the driver of that 77 car. And his crew chief, Rolly LaChance, they have really hit that off. And that is so important, the chemistry between driver and crew chief. They are on the same page, so to speak, and it really worked out last week as they had a great run, top 10 run, finishing 8th in that race. It looked like they're got a top 5 car at least here tonight.
Oh, Mike, exactly. I can't tell you how important it is for the driver and the crew chief to mesh. If they don't mesh, when I say tight, you know what tight means. If I say loose, you know what loose means. And Eddie McDonald, again, that communication is so important, and obviously it's worked for them here today. See Dave Dion right on his bumper there again. Dave's got some 209 starts of this series. He's a 3-time winner here at Holland Speedway. He's working on a real limited budget, the 29 car Dave Dion is. Again, he's doing a lot with a very little. You got to pat him on the back for the great job that he does.
That car they were lapping on the inside is Tim Bainey Jr., who runs regular season in the Hooters Pro Cup Series. Top 10 in points in that series. Running well. As you see, there are cars sprung out all over this racetrack as we are under a pretty long green flag run here after an early caution when Rocky Moran accidentally hit his kill switch.
Yep, unfortunately. And the thing is, you don't have any idea what happens there until you bring it in. There you see the 40 car of Matt Kobaluk back there in 6th position, doing a great job here today. Again, he won last week at Stafford. He's got really good equipment under him. He's feeling confident. As a race car driver, to come to a track the following week after you won, it means so much to you. And it pumps your team up, it pumps the driver up, and it gives you that confidence that you need to be so competitive. And Matt, he was really pumped before this race. He said, hey, I left a little bit on the table for qualifying. He said, I'll be good in the race.
There's the 5 of Sean Case, who just passed Ryan Moore, and now Moore wants to get him back. This is the battle for 8th place, and it's the best battle out on the racetrack. You see Joey McCarthy in the 8 car right behind them. Ryan Moore, of course, under contract to Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, is going to run some Busch races for them this year. But Sean Case, what a story he is, running in Bernie Lamar's car. He is only 19 years old out of Pelham, New Hampshire. Began his racing career at Lee. Ran a partial modified tour last year. He came into this race as the leading rookie in this series. And Sean Case, who looked good in qualifying, qualified 10th for the race, and he is showing Ryan Moore, another youngster, a thing or two right now.
He is. Look at Ryan Moore. I talked to Ryan earlier today. He said, Dan, the car is just really tight. We don't know how to get the tightness out of it. We loosened it way up for qualifying. The car was a little bit better, but it's still not what it really needs to be. He's got a great race car under him. This is a DEI-powered car. He's got a great program. Again, he's under contract with DEI to do some races. Who knows what his future will bring, but he's in some good equipment. But they just can't get the tightness out of that car. As you see, he drives down in the corner. As we go down the straight, you look, he drives down in the corner. He just can't get that car turned to the bottom. It shoves the nose right up the racetrack, and then finally he can get back to the gas coming off. It's not a good feeling. It's a race car. Little contact there.
How about McCarthy just said hello to his rear bumper?
Yep.
Trying to get by him, and Joey McCarthy, who knows how to get around this racetrack. This is a guy who does as much with his equipment as any driver that I see. 2 years ago, of course, it was his only win in this series, and he won right here at Holland.
Yes, he does. And again, he's a little underfunded. I talked to him before the race. I said, Joey, what do you lack? And he said, Dan, we just don't have the funds we need to have the good top-notch motors, to have the good top-notch cars, to do some testing. He said, but we'll do a lot with a little, hopefully, here tonight.
Here's the battle for 4th place. Eddie McDonald in the 77 owns it. To Dave Dion in the 29, and last week's winner, Matt Kobaluk, in the 41, and Kobaluk has that inside line.
That's right. That's really where you want to be on this racetrack, right down on the bottom. You see Kobaluk puts it below the yellow line. That car is really turning well, and hopefully he's got something left for the finish here.
Matt Kobaluk's planning to run some Busch Series races this year. Says he wants to run some 4 or 5, among them at Charlotte. Wants to run Watkins Glen. Trying to expand his racing career, and Most important of all, he wants a championship, and he has just taken over 4th place from Eddie McDonald and Dave Dion. Matt Kovaluk moving up, and oh my goodness, Dion and McDonald get together just for a moment.
Looks like McDonald got a little bit high there, and Dion had that outside line, but they're well underway.
Great save, though, by both those drivers.
Absolutely. They knew that it's a long race here, and we got to be smart. You got to be patient. You got to be there at the end to win it.
See Mike Johnson creeping up there. Mike Johnson's in 7th. Look at this again.
Drive down in the corner. Ooh, McDonald says, ooh, there's somebody out there. Unfortunately, maybe McDonald's spotter did not tell him that Dave's nose was out there on the outside. But he did the right thing. He got back out of the gas, let Dave back in line, and that was a smart move.
Just past 50 laps. Let's run you down now again to top 10. Mike Stefanik still leading the race. Our pole sitter, Santerre, has not been able to get by him. What a run for Brian Chu, but Eddie McDonald has just been passed by Matt Kovaluk, and then on down, McDonald now running 6th. Mike Johnson 7th. Sean Case 8th, the 19-year-old. Joey McCarthy 9th, and Ryan Moore 10th.
On the net.
Still under green here at Holland International Speedway. Back in 11th, Mike Olson has made a great run up through the field after having to come and stop on the pit road to get some sheet metal pulled off of his tire. He is back up to 11th place. He's got a car.
Mike's on a mission. Mike's been here. Mike knows how to get around this facility. He does, and he's a smart race car driver. He's got some 241 Busch North starts. He's got 4 wins to date. He's in a standard snout car, which is a little bit unusual. A lot of these guys are running drop snout cars. I talked to Mike Olson a little bit before the race. He says, I really like the standard snout car. It stays underneath me, and that's just driver preference.
Matt Kovaluk in the 40 car has made his way up to 3rd place. Brian Chu in the 99, running a strong race, is back in 4th place. Chu out of Manitowoc, New York, just 33 years old. His best finish ever in this series, 2nd place at Lakeville, Connecticut. Has had some good runs at Holland here in that 99 car. Finished 5th here in 2002.
Great racer. It's an ex-Billy Hess car. It's actually a Richard Childress car that they've cut the snout off of it and put a Billy Hess snout on it. It's the AC Delco body from Richard Childress Racing. They hung the new body on it. And he says, ever since we've done that, we've had a great race car.
Boy, and you see, look at the smoke coming off the Dale Shaw's car, the 15.
Yep, looks like it's overheating there a little bit. We got a hose that comes out the right front of that car that blows water up in the air to keep the water from going down on the racetrack, keep the car from spinning out.
Dale Shaw, who won the race at Holland the first time this series ever came here back in 1987.
Dale has some 259 starts in the series. Man, he's been around a long time.
This track has been on the North Series schedule since the beginning of the circuit. It's the only track to have a series event in each of the series 19 seasons. So this has been a favorite place for the drivers. It's a long haul for a lot of them to get here, but they all say it's worth it because they love coming here, love riding on this racetrack.
Yes, they do. It's a great racing facility, great grip.
How about Dave Dion running 4th right now? Matt Kovaluk is up in 3rd place, and this is the battle for 4th place. Brian Chu now back in 5th, and McDonald in 6th in that 77 car. That's 4, 5, and 6. And Dave Dion, you heard Ron Clark tell us, 61 years young. Yep. That's amazing. And this car has been around since the early 90s.
It's as old as dirt, he said. You know what Dave told me, though? He said, I can't embarrass myself. I'm 61 years old. He said, there's nothing that I can do to embarrass myself. I can go out there, spin out, hit the wall, fly up the grandstand, do anything, but I've done it all, so it's just hard to embarrass me.
10 laps from halfway. When does Andy Santerre try to test the waters just a little bit? Yellow's out. Car's off the track. It is Joe Massessa in the 09 car, and our second caution of the night. And these cars are going to have a chance to regroup a little bit. There you see Massessa in the 09 out of Rockaway, New Jersey. His first race in this series. He is a dermatologist, a skin cancer surgeon.
Wow.
Who says, you know what, this racing looks like fun. Think I'll go get a car and try it. It's not as easy as it looks.
It's got a little left front damage on that car. They're going to need to come in and pull that fender off the tire.
And I was just making the point to you about Santerre. Knowing Andy, and we watch him race in this series, about time for him to test it a little bit, see whether he can get underneath his teammate running up front in Mike Stefanik.
I think he really does. At this point, Andy Santerre knows what he's got. He knows what the car's made of. He's not sure what the 55 car Mike's got. You know, Mike could be holding a little bit back, so it's so important for him to. He really needs to do it. I'm going to say in the last 20 laps would be my call.
Well, this caution, I think, came at a good time for guys like Matt Kobaluk and Ryan Moore, who's been running up through the field. Dave Dion, Eddie McDonald. And here come a number of cars onto the pit lane, among them Dale Quarterly and Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore is probably the top one coming down on the pit road. I mean, as you said, his car was tight. We saw him get passed by Sean Case. And the 74 car down making a pit stop. There's the 21 of Troy Williams on pit road. Troy Williams, a local driver, lives just about 10 miles from this racetrack. Races a lot of races here in Holland, and they've obviously got a problem underneath that car.
Yeah, it looks like they may have a transmission or rear end problem, maybe possibly a rear end pump. You see the smoke coming out of the car. A lot of times you'll break a line, or a line will get loose, and it'll pump oil out on the racing surface.
And problem with Dale Quarterly. He'd hoped for a great run here, but as you mentioned, he missed the autograph session, and there might have been a reason for that. They were working on the car, and Dale does a lot of the mechanical work on this car himself. Had to go back and start from the rear, and it looks like it's going to be a long night for the driver of car 32.
Looks like possible brake problems, a little bit of smoke coming out of the left front brakes. We use a lot of brakes here. If you see the brake ducts around the front of that car, right under the Carlo, a Monte Carlo, that's where the air intake is for the brake ducts. We have to have sufficient enough brake ducts to get in there and cool them tires. As you see, look in the left front of that car, you see the smoke coming off the inside of that tire. That's rubber beaded up on the inside. That tire and that brake rotor are extremely hot. That's the problem there. He's lost his brakes.
Well, Dale Quarterly, 44 years old, out of Westfield, Massachusetts. Finished 6th a week ago at Stafford. Last year, though, he had a tough race right here in Holland. Looks like he's going to have another tough night tonight. Finished 22nd in this race 1 year ago. And his crew trying to diagnose the problem and get him back out, but it looks like a long night.
Yep, you got to be careful there. Again, it's so hot underneath that car. You just got to let it cool down.
Under caution at Holland International Speedway. You're watching NASCAR Grand National North Series racing here on Speed. Welcome back to the Fuccillo Auto Park Huge 150 here at Holland International Speedway.
Andy Santerre, Dan Partis, Mike Hogwood in the booth. You copy?
Got you, bud.
Hey, bud, you're looking good out there. You got anything for Mike there? It looks like you guys are doing a great job working through traffic. Good luck to you. I guess the car feels to your liking.
Car's good. Mike's a little better than us right now, but we're pretty even.
Okay, buddy. Good luck. Looks like we'll be going green here shortly, so we'll talk to you later.
Andy Santerre not talking a lot. The pace car is down on the pit lane. Green flag is back out. Just got a note on that Troy Williams car. You called it, Dan, leaking some oil.
Yeah, don't want none of that on the racetrack.
And on that restart, the 30 car of Jeff Anton is spun off the course. Don't see a caution there. You see him.
Like he just got run into that tire, but looks like he'll be okay. He's not going to lose a lap or two.
And the yellow is out now. As Jeff Anton, who's a protege of Dale Quarterly out of Russell, Massachusetts, is going to try to back her up and get going again. Tell you what, you don't have a lot of experience on these short oval tracks. Negotiating these corners can really be tough.
Yeah, you can, because we do carry a lot of speed in these corners, and we do trail brake as we roll down in the corner if the car's not good. And again, you're running some 100-mile-an-hour plus at corner entry, and if the car's not right, if the tail's a little bit loose, or if you don't have quite the brake pedal you want, man, you can turn around in a hurry and be in the fence at 100+ mile an hour. So it does take a lot of skill, a lot of experience, but if a guy uses his head, he's with a bunch of professionals out here today. I'm sure in these drivers meeting, the NASCAR Busch Series officials talk to them and get them straightened out and tell them to be careful.
Cross flags at the starter stand signify halfway now of this 150-lap race at Holland International Speedway. 3 cars are out of the event. Troy Williams, Lane Chase, and Dale Shaw, former winner here. All out. 24 cars still rolling. Scott Booley's making a quick trip on the pit road.
All right, Mike, 1 to go at the line, 1 to go at the line.
You hear the spotter of Mike Stefanik telling him 1 to go. See if we can get a quick word with him.
That billboard said 89, lap 89. Now it's on lap 75. Wishful thinking. The billboard was just goofy.
Well, Mike sounds a little bit busy in the car here. We're going 1 to go, so we better not bother him right now. But
I had the same thing with the scoreboard that Mike did. I looked and thought it was lap 97 a minute ago.
it's funny, hey,
He
how
thought it 89, and now it is. We are on lap 76.
Yep, it's pretty good though for a driver to look over while he's racing and look at the scoreboard.
You know
and say,
what
what's
that
going
is,
on
Dan?
there?
He's got a good car underneath.
Yep,
When you're having a good night and you got a good car,
yep,
you're watching that scoreboard and you're wanting those laps just to roll off, aren't you?
You're absolutely right. If the guy's got time to do that, he's feeling good about himself.
Pace car is off. Green flag is back out.
All clear, all clear.
And Mike Stefanik again with a great restart and a couple of lengths over Andy Santerre, but the car that is moving is Matt Kobaluk in the 40. Look at him on the inside.
Man, he's going. He's feeling good about himself. The tires are heated up. He knows he's got a good race car, and he's going to try. He's going to test it.
And Matt Kobaluk making 2 wins in a row. Boy, that'd be some kind of a statement. Remember, this season, not as long as some of the other NASCAR series, so every race is so important in that chase for the championship.
It really is. And if you look Kobaluk's car, it runs right off the bottom of the racetrack. He can stay right down to the bottom, the whole car length, lower than Stefanik and Andy, and that's a good thing. If you keep that car on the bottom, that's where you need to pass, down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Matt Kobaluk is the tallest driver in this series at 6'5".
Huge.
Dan, there's a guy that is not tall. Does that make a difference in a race car, do you think?
Well, I used to think so. So I'd see guys like Buddy Baker and even Rusty Wallace and some of them guys. Michael Waltrip are pretty tall. They just have a little trouble getting in and out of the car. That's the only problem. It kind of gives you more time if you get in an argument with a guy like that. You say something in the window to get away.
Yeah, that window, climbing in and out of that window is tight quarters. And for a guy like Matt Kobaluk at 6'5", it's quite a challenge.
It really is. If Matt was smart right now, which he is, he's a smart race car driver, he'll lay back there a little bit, he'll figure his car out, he'll try the high line, try the low line, and see where these guys are running, because not only does he got to catch these guys, he's got to get around them, and that's a lot easier said than done.
Mike Stefanik, 2-time Busch North Series champion back in 1997, 98, did not have the year he wanted a year ago. But with a new team, and Andy Santerre is running second as his team manager. And I think you heard in that interview with Ron Pruck before the race, he is really excited about what this team is all about. And again, Kobaluk takes a look down low, not able to do it. Quite a distance back now to the 4th place car of Dave Dion. Eddie McDonald running 5th. But right now, this is a 3-car race between Stefanik, Santerre, and Matt Kobaluk.
It really is. These cars are so evenly matched, and again, I talked to him, and downforce has a lot to do with this issue. If you look at the grill opening just below the middle part of the bumper there, you see 3 little holes on these cars, and you just see it under Monte Carlo. And it's so important to keep them taped up as much as you can. You want to tape them up because what that does when the air hits that, Mike, it makes the air go over the hood of the race car, which pushes down on the race car, which makes that nose stick in the corners. You see Kobaluk, he's able to turn that car right down the bottom. He's got great downforce numbers on that car. It's so important to keep it all taped up, but if you tape it up too much, the radiator overheats, your brakes get hot, so you have to find a happy medium. It's a toss-up. The 55 car, the 44 car, Santerre also, you can see the grill openings of them cars are very small.
You know, his car really has a lot of grip on this racetrack, as evidenced by how low he's running on the racetrack. And he now draws alongside of Andy Santerre. He wants 2nd place.
Yes, he does. And again, the bottom, that's the place to be. But they catch the 11 car.
That's Rob Humphreys. Humphreys, the lap car. I think that messed with Kobaluk's ideas on making that pass a little bit, as we've completed now 90 laps. 150 will make up this event.
Well, Matt's got a great spotter. His spotter told him, hey, we got some traffic coming up. You need to get back in line, get single file. Don't run right up behind that car, because if you do, you could get loose. He could get loose and cause a big wreck. You got to be here at the end. As you see Kobaluk looking at the inside again, he's trying him on the bottom.
I think Kobaluk's got a chance to get him. Right now, Kobaluk is faster than Andy Santerre on the last lap. And he's alongside him now. He wants 2nd place. Matt Kovaluk wants more than that, but right now he wants a piece of Andy Santerre. But again, lap traffic, and Joe Massessa in the 09 car. We brought out that caution a moment ago. This is his first oval track race. And he just slowed down and got down to the inside, got out of the way, and let these three guys have at it.
That's the only problem with what Matt's trying to do. His car really works well on the bottom, but guess what? See,
that's where all the lap traffic is.
Absolutely. And Andy and Mike Stefanik, they know that. They set their cars up to run in that second and third groove, and they told me that. They said, Dan, you need to run in the second and 2.5 grooves up here because that's where you got to pass the traffic. If you run on the bottom, unless you got a green-white checker, sometimes it really causes problems, and it's hard to pass.
That is a great point because Kovaluk, who is so strong down low, but he can't get there because of the slower cars that are down there.
Yep, it's so important. Again, he has to get the bottom. He works the bottom, and by the time he catches them, he gets in lap traffic, and he has to lift back out of the gas pedal. But let me tell you, it's a good thing to get your car working on the bottom. Usually when it works on the bottom, it'll work up in that second groove also.
We'll be back from Holland International Speedway with more NASCAR Grand National Series racing in just a moment.
This
Stefanik, who has never won a North Series race at this racetrack. He was second in 97, fourth in 98, was ninth here a year ago. And would like to add this to his belt as places where he's won. One of the real great drivers, I think, in the Northeast. And most people know Stefanik as a modified driver, where he has won numerous races and numerous championships.
I talked to Mike about his modified experience. I said, Mike, you doing some modified racing? He said, Dan, I've got some opportunities, but the equipment is just not that good. He says, I really don't want to go out there and go hurt myself. He said, it would ruin it for the Busch North deal. He said, we can win this championship, and I know that. If I go out there in inferior equipment, I can go out there and get hurt. And that's so smart, and that smartness comes from experience.
Kovaluk is doing everything he can to get by Santerre. Santerre continues to run in that second groove, and look at Kovaluk alongside him right now, but Santerre, I think, is just doing a great job at holding him off.
Andy's car is so good on that high side. He's running right where he wants to, and when he looks at Kovaluk on the bottom side of the racetrack, he says, let him go if he wants to run there. He says, we're going to catch traffic, and he'll fall back in line.
Let's give you a top 10 rundown. You saw the top 5 there of Stefanik, Santerre, Kovaluk, Dion, and McCarthy. Behind them, it's Eddie McDonald in the 77, the 96 of Michael Johnson, the 99 of Brian Chu, the 61 of Mike Olson, and the 74 of Ryan Moore. Now, both Olson and Moore have had to make trips down on the pit lane and then fight their way back up through the field. There are now 12 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, you see Andy Santerre get up and nudge Mike Stefanik a little bit. He really didn't do that on purpose, but he knows he has to stay on the gas because he's got Matt Kovaluk breathing down his back. So it's so important that they get out there and really get by these cars in a hurry.
Did you see the 68 of Rich Gould, one of the rookies in this race, got really loose there a moment ago. That could have really caused a mess. John Salemi right behind him in the 63. And they clear the 2 rookies. Stefanik and Santerre, 1 and 2 since the green flag that started this race. We're now 45 laps from the end.
Now's the time. If you're a driver, you need to start really sizing your guys up. You see Kovaluk looking inside. He really needs to go now. He knows that his tires will bring him to the end. These tires are so hard. They got a lot of last on them. He needs to get around these guys. If he's got anything for him, now's the time to get her done.
If you follow this series, then you may know that the tires are different this year. These guys run bias ply tires. But NASCAR did make a change this year, which has affected everybody in their setups.
It really has. It just threw everybody for a loop. It's still a bias ply tire, but it really acts like a radial. They put a real soft sidewall on it, and what that made the competitors do is we had to go different spring setups. We're running real stiff spring setups in the right rear of these cars, some 800 to 1,000. Wow.
Jeff Anton and Kovaluk just does clear him.
Absolutely. But the good thing about these tires are, guys, that they really don't fall off much. They're 1 or 2/10 of a second slower from the start of the race to the end of the race, and that's what the Busch North Series, the NASCAR Busch North Series, really goal was to do, is to make these tires last, to make it more cost effective.
Yeah, the tire rule tonight, for instance, is you run all the 4 tires you start on the entire night. You're not allowed to change any tires in this race. unless you have a flat or something else happen, and then it has to be approved by the NASCAR inspectors.
Yep, exactly. NASCAR looks at the tire when it comes in down pit row and proves that there is a problem with it. They will let you change it. But other than that, if you have to pull in and change the tire during this race, you're done anyway.
You just saw Santera a moment ago trying a different line. He was trying to run down low just a little bit, I think as much to block Kovaluk as anything, and now Kovaluk is testing the waters up high.
Yeah,
and both the 44 and 40 are trying to see what they can do to get around Mike Stefanik.
Yep, the 44 is trying bottom line because he knows the only way to get around Mike Stefanik is on the bottom side, so he needs to start looking. Again, we're coming towards the end of this race, and Andy, I guarantee, is trying his race car high line, low line. Just see as he looks to the high side, then chops it down low off the corner. That's where he knows he needs to get him. If he can beat Mike Stefanik down in the corner, he'll probably pass him. He's looking at the bottom.
Oh, there's a car up on the high side. It is Troy Williams. I saw some sparks coming out from underneath that car. Something has broken on the 21 of Troy Williams. Again, tough luck for one of the local drivers here who just runs a couple of these series races a year. And this caution coming out on lap 114, is this good for Santera and Kovaluk to kind of gather their wits about him a little bit?
Well, it is. If I'm sitting back there in second or third place, that's exactly what I was hoping for, a caution. Maybe I can jump him on the restart. Maybe I can beat him down in there turn one, get around him, then 30 laps or so until the end of the race. That's where I want to be.
All right, we are under caution. We're getting close to the end of this race. We'll come back with more in a moment, but right now it has been all Mike Stefanik. He sat on the pole. He led lap one, and he still leads here. And we have just gone back green flag racing. That is Mike Stefanik in the 55. He has led every lap of this race. Santera drawing up on his bumper, and look on the inside. There is Matt Kovaluk again.
It's time to go now, guys. 32 laps to go here. It's time to set sail. If you got anything left, now's the time to do it because these cars are so evenly matched. The guy that gets up front and sets sail, he'll probably be the one at victory circle.
Well, you see, those three cars are really so much stronger right now than the rest of the field. It's going to be between those three.
Yes, and this is what Matt Kovaluk needed. He needed a clear racing so he can get down on the bottom. He won't be confronted with any race traffic here for the next 5 or 10 laps. So this is exactly what he needed to get around these two cars.
And Kovaluk is drawn beside Andy Santera. Some great racing here as Kovaluk looks like he's going to be able to take that position.
Again, if he can stay down at the bottom of that racetrack, no lap traffic, he'll have the pass.
Kovaluk, who has run on the inside all night long, inside of Santera, got his nose out front. You saw Humphreys, the lap car, down on the apron. He is not under power right now. What a great job Kovaluk did avoiding him. Santera not giving an inch. But as right now, Matt Kovaluk is in second place.
I tell you, some really, really great racing here tonight at Holland. These guys were a little concerned with these tires because they said we haven't been able to race too wide, but this Holland racetrack, two-groove racetrack, it's proven a little different here tonight. There's some great side-by-side racing.
Matt Kovaluk started 6th. Andy Santera and Stefanik on the front row, and they've been out front all night until now. Kovaluk making his move. As you said, it was time to go, and Kovaluk has gone right now. Now he wants a piece of Stefanik.
I know his spotter's saying, Matt, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. You got to get going because in a few laps we're going to have some lap traffic here again. You've got to drive that car down deep in the corner, maybe bump up against the side of him a little bit to get by him and get her done.
25 laps to go. Those are the top 3. Let me run you down the top 10 real quick. Stefanik, Kovaluk, Santera. Those 3 bunched together, throw a blanket over them. Then it's Dave Dion 4th. Joey McCarthy's made a great move up to 5th. Eddie McDonald running 6th right now. Michael Johnson 7th. Mike Olson 8th. Brian Chu 9th. Ryan Moore 10th. Those cars are all on the lead lap. There are 12 cars still on the lead lap out of the 27 that started this race.
These guys are doing a great job. They're giving each other room. They're being patient. They're doing exactly what they got to do. These two, Joey McCarthy, Dave Dion, man, they've both been really running great here tonight. I talked to Joey. He was a little depressed before the race. He said, Dan, I just feel, it's one of them nights. I'm not happy about it. I'm starting 12th, but looks like he's
What a race car driver, though. Joey McCarthy, who has made a great move up through the field and now running 4th. As he got by Dave Dion, Dion kicked back to 5th place. Although, as you see, not by much, because here comes Dion again. Oh, there's a crash. It is Dale Corderly. Corderly spins. I don't see a yellow flag.
Nope, he's back underway, and
A lot of smoke, but I don't think he really hit anything.
it's like
Maybe
he
he
done
just turned around.
a little 360 there and back underway. Dale's a dirt racer, longtime motorcycle dirt racer. He knows how to do a 360 and just keep her going. Tough night for Dale Quarterly. He missed the autograph session and had to start in the back of the field. Wow, you see them
That's
two
the upper
guys.
right of your screen. There you see it.
Looks like he just got a little loose by himself. That's what it looked like from here.
You know, I think that's one thing to appreciate about these drivers. It is not easy to drive fast around this racetrack. You know, you can try to go into those corners a little bit too hard, and the next thing you know, it's coming around on you.
Oh, it really does. The harder you drive, when the car's just not under you, you got to use your head.
Something's wrong with Matt Kovaluk. He has now dropped some 10, 15 car lengths off the pace.
Well, in my opinion, I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with him. He's just used the tires up on that race car. He drove that race car so hard, he used the tires up, he abused the brakes, and that's just what it takes. He had to try it. He had to see if he had anything left, but unfortunately, he may use the brake pedal up on that car. He has to back up. He has to let them brakes cool down. Hopefully, he can give it a charge for the end. And he's hoping for a caution right now.
Jeff Anton is spun, and now the yellow is out. There's the 30 car that brought it out. So the yellow flag's out, and Matt Kovaluk's going to get a chance to catch up and maybe cool things off a little bit. We had seen Kovaluk take 2nd place away from Andy Santerre. And now on lap 135, 15 laps from the finish, caution is out. Boy, it's going to be a great run to the checkers.
Sure is. Mike doing a great job. His car's really underneath him. These two cars so evenly matched again. That's what Matt Kovaluk was looking for. But if he did overheat the brakes on that car of his, the 40 car, unfortunately slowing down is not the answer. You need to keep it up to speed and blow some air through the front of that nose at about 100 mile an hour to cool them brakes down.
15 laps to go. Let's again catch you up on the top 5. Stefanik, Santerre, and Kovaluk. Now Kovaluk took 2nd place for a moment from Santerre. Dion and McCarthy, 4 and 5. They have had a great battle tonight for 4th place. Both of them done a superb job at this racetrack. And remember, Joey McCarthy won here 2 years ago. His only win in this series.
Great run for Joey McCarthy. Again, he was not happy about his race car before the race started, but hey, he's up in the top 5. I'm sure he's tickled to death. The top 5 for Joey McCarthy today would be a victory.
And for Andy Santerre, who is going for his 4th consecutive series championship and running 2nd right now. He finished 2nd at Stafford, and that's what it's all about. Those top 5s.
Andy doing a great job here today. He's driving his car that he's loved forever. The name of the car is Faith. He's been in the car a long time, and he bought it when they changed speeds. He's done good.
You're watching NASCAR Grand National North Racing on Speed. We'll be back in just a moment. On Matt Kovaluk. Let's head down to the pit lane. Ron Krupp.
Thanks, Mike. I just talked with Perry Wade. He said right now the car is fine. There's no issues with Kovaluk's car. He's just been running into some lap traffic, which has been an issue. But besides that, the car is running good, and he's set to make a run here at the end of the race. Back upstairs to you.
All right.
Well,
we will see.
I beg to differ a little bit with that answer, because he did fall back some 10 car lengths, and you just don't do that when the car's good. So. This is the time, if he's got anything left, to make it happen. If his brakes were hot, he's cooled the brakes down, and we're really going to see a good battle these last 11 laps.
We were scheduled to go green this last lap, but Rich Gould had some problems getting his car fired on the racetrack. He is now under power, and he is pulled onto the pit lane. And the light is off on the pace car, so hopefully we'll get a green flag start this time around. As you said, approaching 10 laps to go in this race. It's going to be quite a finish.
It really is. These 3 cars, they've sized each other up. They know which car works best where, and they just got to do everything they can to really get it done here in the last 10 laps.
Stefanik awfully good on the restarts. You expect that from a veteran. And now Kovaluk showing some of that power. But what a start by Stefanik.
Stefanik's the man. He knows how to start on these racetracks. He runs in these big open wheel modifieds. He knows how to get it done on a restart.
10 laps to go. The question, does Andy Santerre have anything for him? Matt Kovaluk, has he cooled down his brakes sufficiently?
Well, again, Andy and Mike are so evenly matched, but they're running the same groove. Again, they said the setup in these cars were so close together, and they really showing here on the racetrack because they like running the same exact line, and that's going to be hard for Andy to get around Mike.
They've been 1 and 2 virtually this entire night. You know, and I also think that being teammates, and Andy Santerre knows that if he wrecks at 55, he's got to spend all next week fixing the thing.
Oh, you're exactly right, because he does run these teams that he takes care of. He knows he's got to take care of his buddy. But I tell you, we'll see what's going to happen here in about 6 laps, because on the last lap, I think you pull out all them stops. He finished second last week to Matt Kovaluk, and I'm not sure he wants to finish second to his teammate, Mike, there.
What a start to this season for Matt Kovaluk in the 40. Again, he started 6th in the race. And how about 61-year-old Dave Dion? Just hanging close, running in the top 5. There's Dion in the red car.
Joey McCarthy. Boy, these two cars have done a great job here tonight. They've been real consistent, and for underfunded teams like they are, they're doing a great job working with a lot less equipment.
5 laps remain. These 150 laps just fly by here at Holland. Here comes Kovaluk. He gets sideways. He tried to make the move on Santerre.
Mike Johnson spun around down the back stretch. Oh, no.
Yeah, Olson, no caution flag.
It's been a tough night for Mike Olson.
And Olson just got in the middle of it, a little squirrely. He's holding up Kovaluk. Kovaluk now has to get by Olson, and that's not going to make him happy here in these final couple of laps.
No, that wasn't good. Mike just got a little loose here. Not sure he did that on purpose, but fortunately he did back Matt up a little bit.
White flag is out. Final lap. Andy Santerre trying now to make the move on his teammate, Mike Stefanik.
Oh, he looks to the bottom.
Santerre alongside him. This is going to be close. Down to the start finish, and it's going to be Mike Stefanik.
Excellent, Michael, excellent job. Great spotting, great for everybody.
The spotter.
Thanks for all that hard work, guys. I showed you on the last lap, that's what it had for looseness, but man, I'm so happy. You really, it's unbelievable. It's been so long. Jerry, congratulations to everybody. Some of you guys won some of these races, but some of you haven't, man. I'm so happy for everybody. Thank you.
That's the word of Mike Stefanik. Talking to his crew chief, Jerry Babb. Steve Griswold's got to be happy, the owner of this team, as he's just seen his 2 cars finish 1st and 2nd. Matt Kovaluk 3rd. What a great performance for Mike Stefanik. And you heard him say it has been a while since he has won in this series. And it just feels good, I know, for him to get back to victory lane. Sometimes you start to doubt yourself a little bit, and you want to get back and just prove you can do it.
Mike, you're exactly right. And last year, I talked to Mike Stefanik, and he said, Dan, I'm just frustrated. We're putting another driver in the car. We're going to test at Loudon, New Hampshire. I'm not sure what the problem is, but we've changed this, we've changed that, and I could feel it. And I said, Mike, it's not you. You're a great race car driver. You've been around a long time. I've been there and done that. I know what it's like to get in equipment where you just can't get the combination, crew chief driver combination, but hey, look at this. He's got that combination here tonight. He's in victory lane, so we know he can get the job done.
And a really classy move. I just saw Jerry Babb, his crew chief, as you see Stefanik climbing out, go over to Andy Santerre and congratulate him on a great race.
Man, what a great feeling for both them guys.
Been a while, huh? I don't know.
Well, there's the excitement for Mike Stefanik, and we're going to come back and talk to him in just a moment. The top 3, Stefanik, Santerre, and Kovaluk, Dave Dion, and Joey McCarthy also finishing in the top 5. Well, a good night here at Holland International Speedway in the Fuccillo Auto Park. Huge 150 has been won by Mike Stefanik on what has been, it was just so incredibly hot here today, and I know a number of these drivers are hot in the race car. There's Mike Olson.
Wow.
Wow, his crew is having to put some ice on him. He really got hot in that race car.
Yep. Unfortunately, he may have got a fender knocked in early in the race. If you remember, he had a little fender damage. It knocks the inner sheet metal out, and you get heat exhaustion, carbon dioxide poisoning.
Yeah, trying to cool him down just a little bit. We saw him spin towards the end of the race. And hey, how about the smile on this guy's face? Let's go down to Ron Kruk now.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Congratulations, Mike Stefanik. You led the entire time. What a night. This has to feel great for you.
Yeah, it sure is. Hats off to the team. They gave me a fantastic car to drive. I got to thank Stephen Pegg, our owners, of course, Burnham Hydronics, our sponsor. It's great to get a win for everybody on this whole program, and to have our team car finish second, fantastic.
Well, now that's the big question. You were battling it out with the boss. Are you in trouble?
No, he come over and congratulated me. I couldn't run on the bottom, and I think Maddie and Andy were a little better on the bottom, so I just stayed up top. If they went by, they went by. There's nothing I could do about it. But our car was a little free up off, and I had to use the whole track to get out of the corner, so I couldn't pinch it down. It just slowed me up.
The late restart, here you go. Everyone in Santerre really flew off the line there. Tell me a little bit about the restart.
Well, I knew there was only 10 to go, so I didn't care if I put too much heat in the rear tires, as long as, I didn't get too sideways in the middle of the corner. But the last lap, I mean, I really slid bad over there. Andy got a piece of me, and I just put it down and just dirt tracked it to the checker. I figure I can get there sideways if I have to. So it was a great win for everybody. Jerry Babb, my crew chief, and, I mean, this is just fantastic. We've been, it's so neat to come with the team concept, and we come here with the same setups. We actually had two different directions, but it's so exciting to compare notes with a class act like Andy Santerre, and tell him what our car's doing, what we're doing, and what he's doing. It's just it's pretty cool. I love it. It's great. Thanks, Steve.
Mike, congratulations. A warm night in Holland. You were the hot driver, no doubt about it. Go and celebrate.
Oh, we're going to do that. Thank you.
All right. It's so much fun to watch a guy have a great time like this, and no matter how long you race, a night like this, when you lead wire to wire, is always something special.
It feels so good. Them years and years of experience and hard work, it pays off. And as a race car driver, there's nothing better to be in victory lane. And teamwork, it worked for these guys, and it really, really, really did work. I'm so happy for Mike Stefanik.
Here's your top 10, and Dave Dion, 61 years old. Look at 10th. Sean Case, 19 years old. Some diversity here. Ryan Moore, also a strong run tonight as well. We'll be back and talk to some of the other top finishers in a moment. Back at Holland International Speedway, second place for the second race in a row was Andy Santerre, and he's with Ron.
Andy, you drove hard all night long, but you just couldn't catch your teammate, Mike Stefanik. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, man, it was a great race. It was awesome. Grisco Racing was formed this year, and I'm the team manager, and to see Mike in victory lane, I think I'm as excited as he is. It's been a long time for him. This is the second outing with that team. We've got a lot of guys that come from the old Grisco. We've got some new guys over there, and to see them get that Vernon Boiler Chevy in victory lane means a lot to me personally. And for me to be right there watching it and have a bird's eye or catbird seat, I was second, trying all I could. I got beside him, but my windshield was covered in oil from early in the race. I was having a hard time with these lights seeing him, and I was afraid if I hit my teammate, my big boss wouldn't be too happy.
No, he wouldn't. You talked about the windshield here. You can't even really see out of this. When did this happen? When did it get covered, and how did you manage to still run second?
Well, it happened early in the race. I'd say lap 35, I called in and said, man, my windshield's getting pretty bad. Wow. I don't know who was leaking. It might have been Mike, but it looks like motor oil, a gear loop. And about 80 laps in, I was pretty much blindfolded, just going by feel. I couldn't see the flagman when he'd wave a flag, so it was pretty bad. But hey, here at Holland, it's real tight in the pits. I knew there's no way I could come in and come from the back, so I stayed out, kind of drove by feel, and that last lap I had a shot at Mike. My car was a little better once the tires cooled off. Got up to his door, but I really was worried about hitting him. If I wouldn't have raced anybody and taken him, but I especially didn't want to get my teammate when he was going for his first win in a long time. So I'm excited for them, excited for Castle. Castle's on board with us for 5 races. We've got 2 seconds. We're real close in the points, and want to thank Matt Kobeluk. He drove me great tonight. That's the best race I've ever seen him run. He's come a long way. He's doing a great job. So 3 of us, looks like it's going to be a great year battling for the points lead.
Quickly, as team manager, isn't he supposed to let you win? Maybe not.
Maybe not, no. I don't think we worked that deal out. But, it's funny. This week's been a busy week for us. We're going to Loudon, New Hampshire from here tonight. We're going up there and test on Monday. So I do all the setups on the car. The guys get the cars ready. They roll them in on the surface plate, and I set them up. So I set 2 of Mike's cars up this week and told them, hey, you got a winner in that one. Let's go to New Hampshire and see if you can get that thing up front.
Andy, apparently you set it up pretty well. Congratulations on your second place win.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Mike?
All right, thank you, Ron, and again, congrats to Andy Santerre. Going to be some race for the championship in this series, but I think that Grisco team, the super team they call it, Santerre and Stefanik running the whole season, those two guys are going to be tough to beat this year.
Man, that would be my fear, Mike. If I'm running in this NASCAR Busch North Series, I'm not happy because these two guys, in my opinion, they're going to rule all year. They're going to share notes. They're going to share cars. They share information. And the experience between Andy Santerre and Mike Stefanik over some 300-plus races, that's a lot of experience, and it's going to be hard to beat these two.
Andy Santerre made a point that I want to make note of, and that is Matt Kobaluk has really improved as a driver, winning last week at Stafford, and I thought drove a great race today, finishing third in this race.
Well, it's got to feel so good because as a driver, Matt Kobaluk drove Andy Santerre like Andy Santerre drove Matt Kobaluk last week at Stafford. So he did unto him what happened with him last week. So that's a great thing. And when you build that relationship as a race car driver, you've always got that confidence in each other that you're not going to get spun out on the last lap.
You've been watching NASCAR Grand National North Series Racing on Speed. I'm Mike Hogwood for Dan Pardis and Ron Kruk. So long from Holland, New York.